Hello, young explorers! Today, we'll dive into the fascinating world of weather and learn about two extraordinary weather phenomena called El Nino and La Niña. Do you know what they are and how they affect our weather? Let's find out! First, let's talk about El Nino, which means the boy in Spanish. El Nino is a condition that sometimes occurs in the Pacific Ocean, but it is so big that it affects weather all over the world. How does it happen? Well, it has to do with the ocean surface temperatures and the winds. Normally, the trade winds blow from east to west, pushing the warm surface waters of the Pacific Ocean towards Indonesia and the Western Pacific. This creates a pool of warm water in the west and a cooler pool in the east near South America. However, in some years, these winds weaken or even reverse, causing the warm surface waters to flow back eastward towards South America. As a result, the eastern Pacific becomes unusually warm, disrupting the regular temperature distribution across the ocean. This is El Nino. Now you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the weather? Well, a lot. Where the ocean is warm, more clouds form, and more rain falls in that part of the world. So, during El Nino, some places that are usually dry might experience more rain than usual. This can lead to floods and heavy rainfall in certain regions, such as South and Central America and the United States. On the other hand, some places that usually receive lots of rain may experience droughts. This means less rainfall and parched land, which can affect plants, animals, and even people. El Nino can also bring wild weather conditions like powerful storms, strong winds, and even significant changes in temperature. El Nino can also affect life underwater. The warm ocean waters can cause stress to coral reefs, which are home to many colorful fish and other sea creatures. The corals can lose their vibrant colors and turn white, a process called coral bleaching. Coral bleaching can harm the delicate balance of the reef ecosystem and negatively impact the many species that rely on coral for food and shelter. El Nino can also disrupt the food chain in the ocean, as changes in ocean currents can affect the availability of food for fish and other sea creatures. Now, let's meet El Nino's sister, La Niña, which means the girl in Spanish. La Niña is also a condition that occurs in the Pacific Ocean, but it is the opposite of El Nino in almost every way. During La Niña, the trade winds are stronger than usual, pushing the warm surface waters even further westward towards Indonesia. This creates a very warm pool of water in the west and a very cool pool of water in the east near South America. This is La Niña. As you can guess, La Niña also affects the weather, but in a different way than El Nino. Where the ocean is cool, fewer clouds form and less rain falls in that part of the world. So, during La Niña, some places that are usually wet might experience less rain than usual. This can lead to droughts and dry conditions in certain regions, such as Australia and Southeast Asia. On the other hand, some places that are usually dry may experience more rain than usual. This can lead to floods and heavy rainfall in other regions, such as the western United States and South America. La Niña can also bring wild weather conditions like cold snaps, snowstorms, and even changes in hurricane activity. La Niña can also affect life underwater. The cool ocean waters can benefit coral reefs as they can recover from coral bleaching and regain their colors. La Niña can also enhance the food chain in the ocean, as the upwelling of cold water brings more nutrients to the surface, which can feed more fish and other sea creatures. Episodes of El Nino and La Niña typically last 9 to 12 months, but can sometimes last for years. El Nino and La Niña events occur every 2 to 7 years on average, but they don't occur on a regular schedule. Generally, El Nino occurs more frequently than La Niña. Scientists use satellites and other instruments to monitor the ocean temperatures and the winds, and they can often predict the onset of El Nino and La Niña several months to a year in advance. El Nino and La Niña are part of Earth's dynamic climate and its fascinating interplay with the mighty oceans. They show how everything in nature is connected. The ocean's dance can affect animals, plants, and even us. Now, you might wonder why El Nino has been showing off with more extreme moves lately. Let's explore this disturbing change. One main reason is climate change. Our planet is getting warmer because of human activities like burning fossil fuels and cutting down forests. This extra warmth doesn't just heat the air, it heats the oceans too. As the ocean warms, it's like turning up the heat under our giant bathtub. This can make El Niño's warm water movements more dramatic, like a dance with faster and bigger steps. These more intense El Niño events can lead to even wilder weather changes. We're talking about stronger storms, longer droughts, and more unpredictable weather patterns around the world. Extreme weather events can also trigger outbreaks of diseases like malaria and dengue fever, especially in areas with poor sanitation. Droughts and floods can damage crops, leading to food shortages and rising prices. But here's a twist. We, as humans, have the power to change this dance's rhythm. By taking care of our planet, reducing pollution, and using clean energy, we can help ensure that El Niño and La Niña don't get too extreme in their dance moves, keeping our planet's weather in a healthier balance. So, young explorers, remember, our actions have power. By understanding and respecting nature, we can all help in keeping the Earth's climate dance graceful and balanced. Let's make a difference together. Stay curious and keep exploring. Together, we can make a big difference. See you next time.